All right, I'm back, hoping to get this thing finished up. So I'm going to work on this cup here, go in and put a value in here that is lighter than the background and about the same as this, a little deeper than this. So I'm going to go in and hope my arm doesn't hurt too much. Go in here and put these all the way around at about this frequency. See if I can get that same level going throughout. And there we go. There we go. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Then in here, this is about the same pace as this, so I'm going to use about the same rhythm as I used there and continue over here, continue over here, continue over here, over here, and I think I'll go this high here. This in here is a just a little lighter, so I'm going to go in between some of these and keep that same contour going, or at least try to, and then take this down the sides. And these are fairly vertical. I take those down from there. So I'm going to make this a little more frequent because I want it darker over here, darker over here, darker over here. And take that down this direction. Want it a little darker over here, darker over here. So I'm going to take these lines and put some a little closer in together over here, and even over this direction. They didn't quite get the pace that I was looking for. Down like that. Feel a little better about that. Then all of this in here is fairly dark, but not as dark as this background. So again, with using the direction of the box to use my lines to, that's the direction the contour I'm following is the contour of the box. And then these are just going to be true verticals here, going down the side of the box. And these are, again, just directional lines going the direction of the box, taking the what we already know about contour and using that to our advantage. There's a little sense of a shadow underneath this cup, so I'm going to describe that by going in and making this area darker, again following the contour of the shadow too. Feel like that's okay. Then this is going to be darker. These are all horizontal lines because that's the direction of that surface. No need to get fancy here. Just follow the direction of the surface. And that's going to keep the box top moving the direction it's supposed to be moving. Again, just take these and keep them completely horizontal. This is a little darker in here than white, but not as dark as white. Making them a little closer together at the front and letting them space a little further apart at the back. Taking that out there, and I went outside of my line. Guess I'm going to have to fire me. Outline these letters in here. Hope they look okay. It may have gotten a little on the twisted side. Take that there and keep it in the realm of the direction the box is going. Take that, keep it in that confined little area. And then I've got this here for my U. So this is going to be a little darker in here. All of this area in here is darker than the area above it. Because it's slightly more in shadow than that surface. Go back and forth between here. Make that nice and dark. Put in a little sense of these letters in here. It's keeping them all in the same relative boxes to have them sized about right. Got a little off there. Oops. Took that in there. That's okay. I'm going to turn this surface just a little. That rounds a little bit out there. There is a stripe across here, so I will indicate that with a slightly darker mark in there. Take that down like this. This has some lines in through here, and again it's darker in through here. This is a little dark in here on the side. I'm going to take that down and take this and put those in through here. Turn that surface of this, leave that mostly white. This is a slightly darker surface. I'm just going to grid that in just a little. This in here is, again, a slightly darker surface. Take that across like that. I want this to go all the way down here. Take that across like this. This down here, take it a little bit more into shadow. Take this all the way over to here. Then just lightly put this in. This is darker in here, so I'm going to go back in here and make this a little darker than the surface above it. Take these down Adding a little dimension to that tube. Then over here, this is all fairly dark over here. Got a little bit of shadow from this coming in through here. This goes down here. All of this down here is dark. So I'm going to take that down in value and go vertical with this surface so it contrasts in direction with the surface it's sitting on, and that'll help inform my viewer what's going on with this box. So this is a little darker in through here, comes down like this. Going to go all the way over with this and take that up to here, that surface. And I'll take these all the way down vertically. So I'm just making true verticals. Getting in here, I'm going to have that 12 pop out, so I'll take it over like that, do a little bit of an outline and have it pop out just a little. See if I can play with that hook in there a little more and bring it around like that. Take that over like that. There's the essence of the two. You can sort of see it. And I'm going to make this all into shadow. I'm going to go way darker in here. Take this black all the way down, put that into shadow. You want something of the shadow of that being cast over there. This is all darker than the cut behind it. So again, with the taking this, and these are all true horizontals really. I'm taking these and darkening up this whole surface here all the way to about here. Darkening that in. This surface behind it is darker, so I'm going to go in and just assert that, make this darker so it pops out from the box. Just really drop a nice dark area in there so I have a nice amount of distance in between there. And then again, take this and use that same idea of contour, the linear perspective, and have that follow the contour of the box. So again, it directs my viewer's eye the direction I want them to be directed. I'm going to outline that one again, see if I can get that distinguished a little from the background. That goes up a little more. And I want this to come around and have my 12 there. Keep it in that box. Keep it in that box. Make them on the same line. So this way it just offers that a sense of believability. Go in there and fill in the darkness between my letters. This is darker in here too. Darken that in there. Go back and forth to help establish the difference in the boundaries between the letter popping up. And so this is going to be a little lighter than that still, and in here this is all going to go lighter again than that background. Take this, and it's about the same as this down here. Actually, this is a little darker. I'm going to go in darker here. I have that just slightly distinguished from the foreground. Go over this with a vertical movement. Bring a little bit more down here. Rather horizontal, horizontal. Take that right up to the edge of the cup because I don't want to leave a sense of a halo around there. Going horizontal to keep the surface of that congruent with the rest of the drawing. Take these down, 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 down. And I feel like I could use a little more horizontal marks here. I'm going to take this whole surface down a little further and value. This is all fairly dark in here, so I'm going to just take that whole thing down and value. This actually, all of this down here falls into shadow. I'm going to take that and just really make that really strong so I can really indicate the edge of that box and it pops out just a little more. This is dark. This is overall just a fairly dark drawing. This is dark in here, and I'm going to use the a shift and contour to distinguish it from the shapes in the background, or at least hope to distinguish it just a little, and go down here and just give that more of an edge to distinguish it from the background. All of this down here gets it's all fairly dark, so I'm going to just go along here and establish that value in through there. These are fairly horizontal marks. Make those come around the corner just a little. Then take these down. These are going to be true verticals. These marks here again, and just helping follow the direction of the surface. Going in here and just establishing a little bit more of a darkness. I'm not going to overshoot this. Be a little more careful with this because I don't want those two surfaces blending into each other. I want to keep them nice and distinct. So I'm going to make sure I stay within the edges and not pull the eye too far down there, because even though it's dark, if it's constant enough, it'll still translate as the surfaces being one. So it'll merge those two surfaces, and I don't want them merged. I want them to retain their own identity, their own edges. Dark in there. A little darker. And we are getting there. So this in here is, I'm going to make that mark in here. This is a shadow coming off of the box there. This is the cap, and I'm going to just take that and follow that contour of the cap. It's white up there, but gets a little in shadow over there. And here, this is a darker stripe here on the tube. So I'm going to darken this whole area up here. Again, following that contour, and then following the contour of the tube. Darken that up. This is a little darker on this side, so I'm going to take the value down and plant it just along here. This is a little darker in here. I'm going to make that darker. Then I'm just going to take this and around that to give this the contour on this side that it needs. Take these and put them a little closer together over on this edge because I've got a little bit, this is a little bit more in shadow over here on this side. So I'm going to add a little bit of that sensation to it. This down here is all white. The cap winds up being in shadow, so I'm going to describe that. But first I'm going to just, oops, now I jacked up my drawing paper a little. Take that and establish that border there. And this is, this goes this direction, so I'm going to follow that same direction again. And this is darker down here and then moves farther apart here. Take that and do that same thing here. Move those across there just a little. This is a slightly lighter surface followed by a dark surface. And that's the neck of the tube here. That sticks up over there. This comes in down here and moves in like that. This down here, it has a little tiny edge that I've described just a little bit. So I'm going to put that in there and then reinforce it with those marks going the other direction. Flatten that out down there like that. I've got this where it comes in like this, and in here it's got another stripe on the tube, and this is another dark stripe, so I'm going to again take that and follow the contour of the bottle and follow the contour of the tube. Called it a bottle, but it's a tube of paint. Take that and then this is all slightly gray in here. It's darker down here than it is on this side, so I'm going to take this and just wind this around with the contour of the hatch marks. Get the idea what, and then these are going to be a lot closer together too, following that. This is not all white, so I'm going to take these, and these are going to be a lot farther apart, and then darken that up here too, and maybe indicate the some dips in that surface. This is all so there's that. This is my little palette in here, so it gets dark in here. I'm ouch. My like I said, I've got some physical issues, so sometimes I get pain in my body depending on how I move it. This is, again, slightly darker in here. Move that around to here. Move this all around. That's all going to be white in there, so I'm just going to leave that alone. This is dark in here, so I'm going to take that and just use this random mark, because these are all just blobs of watercolor. So I can make these just these random abstract shapes. And then all of this in here, it's all darker in here. It comes around in here and is like it pulled up there in the back, so I'm going to make that darker in there, and again just following a general sense of the contour. Get that darker in there, get that darker in there. And I'm going to take all of this down in tone and just go across like this and darker in here. It's way loaded in here, much darker. Got a little too far into there, so I'm going to trim that out and make this really nice and dark in here too, where taking it down to the value it belongs in. And just following a little bit of the contour of the surface, getting a little too overzealous with my mark making and going into the white where I don't need to be. So I should be a little more careful. So making these a little darker. Follow this all the way this direction. And take that in there, make this a little darker in here too. This is all really dark in here. Take that. This is all dark in there. This is all dark in here. These going to try to describe a little bit of that curvy surface. Try to make those a little on the curvy side. Take this straight across so I have that nice, try to make it distinct white popping out. Really get it delineated so it's got that nice white border that is on my watercolor case. I'm going to take this and, like I said, delineate that a little more. This over here is really dark over here. This is sort of a mid-tone. This is super dark in here. And mid-tones in here. I'm going to take that across to try to get that nice and delineated. This goes down like that. This is a little lighter, so I'm going to leave that more of an open, wide weave. And drop it back down over here. This gets really dark over here where it wells up. So I'm going to try to describe that surface over there. And this moves across like this. This has got different kinds of splotchy paint back there. Make sure it ends really nice here. There's a lot of paint built up down here, so I'll take that and describe that. A lot of paint built up down there, so it's just got stuff deposited down there, paint deposited down here in like the crevice, so I can darken all of that up and it'll give dimension to it a couple ways. In here, like I mentioned, this is really super dark in here, so I'm going to just take this and work this down. And this comes in here, over here, and got another puddle of paint over here, or what was, it's a dried puddle. A dried puddle. And then just take this. This is all dark, 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 dark in here. And take that across here. Darken that whole thing up. Hope it falls down into like a deeper plane. See if I can make this darker over here. Got a dark patch in over here. Take that over like this. And another dark patch in over here. This is all mid grays in here. This is darker over here. Take that and see what happens if I move that down. That was just a little bit over half an hour and I'm still not finished with it, which is just fine. Stay tuned and check out the next video.